and hope someone, can get some help from it. That's what it's all about. If I touch just one person, that is something they need. And they say that whatever you have to give, somebody is praying for it.
That's the truth. We just don't realize it a lot of times. Hey, everyone. Let's start healing. I'm Adrienne Murchison, and welcome to episode 121 of the Let's Start Healing podcast. We have more in common than we think, and what we have in common can change the world. I am back for a bonus episode with Tony McClendon, my guest from the previous episode, and we are back for a brief part 2 where he is sharing more about how his experience with his divine inner spirit moves him through life and different situations that he has been in. And he calls his experience with who I would call God or the Holy Spirit, he calls that entity and that energy his helper. And Tony is so high energy and just magnetic. And he is 75 years old. And so I am really happy to share a little more of him with you. Remember that you can listen to all Let's Start Healing episodes on traditional platforms, and that includes Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and of course, YouTube. Let me know what you think of the podcast. You can send me an email at Let's Start Healing Podcast at gmail.com, or you can follow me on Instagram. Just let me know what you think and who you think we should talk to next. Maybe you know someone. Let's get to it. Let's get back to Tony and let's start healing. You call God your helper.
Yes.
I have guests who call God the universe and nature. And at this point, how would you describe your relationship with your helper?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Total peace, total harmony, total enjoyment. And just thank you. I cannot thank you enough. That's how I describe it right now.
That is so wonderful. Yes. And what are you so grateful for in addition to your health and well-being? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for that he gave me the opportunity to see one side and to look at another side.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning like uncomfortable, pain, disability, what that side is like. And what the opposite is. No pain, no disability, no hurt, enjoyment. And the place that I am now, that's what it's all about. Enjoyment. Mm-hmm. Experience. What experiences that he took me through that got me to the place that I am now. This is an interesting story. I started a boys club back in the 90s in Bowen Homes. One of the worst projects you could imagine back then.
Yeah.
Because I was going to the juvenile detention center and talking with the kids and trying to let them understand that it's another side other than the side that they are into now. Because I have experienced that side. And I wanted to let them try to understand that it's a whole completely different side of what you into now. And I did that for about 12 years and had great experience. One particular experience that I had that I would never forget. After I had got through speaking, this little kid tapped me on the back of my back. And I looked up and I didn't see nobody. He looked about 9 or 10 years old. He said, "Could I talk to you for a minute, Tony?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I didn't believe in a God. But you showed me that there is a God." I say, "Man," I said, "you just made my day." I say, you just made my day. I say, I'm glad. I'm glad, man, that you understood what I was trying to tell you, you know? He said, yeah, another experience. My wife and I going fishing, right? The last place I would think that I will meet somebody from the juvenile detention center, okay? This white boy. He come from behind there. He say, Tony, you remember me? I say, no. He say, I was at the juvenile detention center. And it was very, very, I would say to see a white kid, very rare.
Yeah.
One or two at the most. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, I really didn't remember. And he said, you know, you changed my life. I say, really?
What would you try to impart to them?
Well, I basically just told my story. That was it. I just told my story. And that was the only thing I could tell them, what I have experienced.
Yeah.
And my helper just used me. I mean, in a strong and mighty way. All right. After that, when I started the club in Bowen Homes, I didn't want to do it because I said, man, Bowen Homes like Vietnam 2 or 3 times. What I'm going to do and go in Bowen Homes and talk about starting a bodybuilding club, okay? I said, they ran me away from there, shot, killed, stabbed, whatever. And I couldn't get rid of the itch. I tried to.
What do you mean? Like they pushed you away?
The itch is you got to go over.
Right.
And inquire about this.
But you were...
My helper was telling me that. You got to go over. This is where I want you to go.
Right.
I said, no, man, I don't want to go over there. I just don't want to deal with nothing like that.
Right.
And I couldn't stop the itch. So I said, well, let me just go over there just to check it out, see what's going on. Then when they tell me, you know, that they don't need nothing like this, then I can stop itching. Yeah, I did what I could. So I went. And I talked to the lady over the association of, you know, Bowen Homes. And I told her what I, you know, wanted to do. And she said, you just what we looking for. I say, what? She said, we got this auditorium and we can set you up over there and I get the kids for you. I said, oh, Lord, what I want to do that for. All right. I'm having a conversation with one of my clients about it. And I say, man, I went over here to Bowen Homes and asked the lady about starting a little bodybuilding club. And she said she got everything set up for me. I said, I don't have the money because I was just starting my business. I said, I don't have the money to get that type of equipment. And he said, well, let me help you out with that, Tony. You got a lot of wealthy clients, which I did. And he said, let's put it on paper. Let's make a little booklet out of it. And I said, okay, that's a good idea. He helped me out with it and everything. And I gave it to my clients. 1 month, I raised $5,000. Got the equipment, got it started. The club went 7 years. My clients contribute. One gave me a brand new van. We went fishing trips. We did bodybuilding shows.
Was this in the 90s?
It was in the 90s. Clients owned restaurants. We went to eat. We went to plays. We did stuff that they would never had the opportunity to do. And I went 3 days a week and did not miss a day.
And were they teenagers?
From 6th grade on. And 7 years. And the club ended when they was graduating from high school.
Yeah.
Didn't get paid a dime. Not then, but I got paid.
Mm-hmm. In other ways. And
I'm going to tell you how I got paid. One of the kids saw me on Facebook, right? Well, he's a man now. Tony, you Tony's Tigers, you the one had the club over in Bowen Homes? I said, yeah. He said, man, this KK. I said, KK. He said, do you remember me? I said, yeah, KK, I remember you. I said, you was at everything that we did. The only thing I was concerned about you talked about guns too much. He started telling me how it helped him.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I got a feeling like I could never even imagine. He had me crying like, oh, I said, man, stop. I can't handle it anymore. And the pay.
The impact.
And the pay that he gave me at this time in my life, at my last hoorah. Don't you know I'm good?
Yeah.
And then he said, Tony, I know such and such. Could I give him your number? I said, yeah, give him my number. And it was a chain reaction. Another one called me up and started telling me how it helped him. Another one called me up. I say, man, money cannot give you a feeling like this. I don't care how much money you have. And they would tell me, say, Tony, you going over there, you're not even getting paid or nothing like that. But it was an enjoyment.
Yeah.
And someone, when it was coming up, a neighborhood older guy took time out with us and organized us in a little football club. And what you have, you just carried it on. And I didn't know that, I was going to be doing something like that. And I would tell anybody, if you have something that is on your heart, go through with it, because you're going to get paid.
Right.
You might not get paid like you think.
Right. It's your calling, your purpose.
You're going to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so now these days, when do you most feel the presence of your helper?
All the time. Oh, yeah. Just when I wake up, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go play golf. I'm going to go fish. Just the enjoyment of knowing that connection with my helper and the relationship and the experiences that he has given me throughout my life I have so many experiences that I say, like, wow.
You mentioned earlier that you have a son. Do you have other kids?
I have 3.
And are they similar, or how did this translate to them?
They saw it. And I tried to explain a lot of things to them about it, and they didn't really understand. They didn't understand it at all. They thought I was crazy. What you talking about, Daddy? I mean, stuff like that don't happen. I mean, it was just like, I was in a fantasy world.
And I'm talking about like your whole spirit, not just, yeah.
Yeah, they say stuff like that don't happen, Daddy. That don't happen. Man, I say, okay. It was like this one experience I had at work. Check this one out. This is interesting. I was reading the Bible, right? And I saw where Peter, the angel came and let him out of jail, right? Mm-hmm. I said, man, stuff like that don't happen. I said, now some of this stuff in the Bible I can believe, but stuff like that don't happen. So that evening, I had a client that I had to go to. It was his birthday, and it's Marietta. Marietta was just like, oh my goodness, that's like, going out of the city or somewhat, I had to go out of Marietta. It was at night. So I'm on my way, and my car started acting up on me. I said, what in the world is this? So I say, man, and it was at night. I said, man, I better, try to just get to my destination. So I'm halfway there. I'm in this curve, and the car rocked, shook, and it stopped. I say, oh my goodness. I say, what's going on? So I get out, I check the car, and I got a flat tire. I said, what I'm doing with a flat tire? I said, it didn't sound like I had a flat, okay? And where I had stopped at, it was in a bad spot. It was at a curve where the cars would come, and they couldn't see me until they got right up on me. This is at night in deep Marietta, back in the 70s. I said, oh my goodness. I said, I better hurry up and change this tire. So I goes back, and I noticed that my wife and I had identical cars. I had picked up her set of keys, but she had my key on her ring also.
Yeah.
And I tried to get in the trunk and didn't have a key. I said, oh my goodness. I said, I don't have a trunk key. So I go back, and I thought about it, and I just gave it up. Ain't nothing else I can do. My helper kicked in. I goes back. I didn't know what key I was putting in the trunk. I put the key in the trunk, and the trunk opened up. I say, wow. And when I got the trunk open, the police pulled right behind me, and he helped me change my tire. He said, man, you in a bad spot here. I said, I know. Okay, I goes to my client. I get home that morning, and I go back and try to put that same key
right
to open
Right.
It did not open up. It was the key that goes to my lock on my fence. I say, God, don't tell me about any angels no more. I believe you. Experience it. Some of them is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I totally know. I know to some people that can sound like, oh, no, that didn't happen. But I totally know it happened. I've had experiences like that.
Yes, yes.
Wow. And so now, what do you want? You're working in your purpose all these years. At this point, what do you think you're called to do for other people in your work?
Well, in the massage, my helper gave me the lymphatic system.
Good. I wanted to go to that. Yeah.
Okay, the lymphatic system is a system where the lymph fluid is basically it's from the regular circulatory system. I don't know if I'm explaining it, the way that it should be explained, but it's a system where the fluid seeks out and it goes into what they call the lymphatic system, which goes through a process of going through lymphatic nodes and thoracic ducts to be cleaned out. You have lymph nodes throughout the body. You got your thoracic ducts, which is upper part of the body, and the system is already laid out. So it's not a guessing game. So basically, you are helping the system to help it to do the best that it can do.
Flow the best that it.
Yes, just like, you wanted to operate the best that it can operate. Okay, you get the fluid, the lymph fluid through the lymph nodes, through the, throughout the thoracic ducts to get cleaned out, put back in there. It eliminates toxins. It builds up the immune system. It eliminates cancer cells. It helps. Yeah, it helps the body well-being and the body to be well. And I've been studying it, and it's been interesting.
So your helper guided you to this, and you do lymphatic massages.
I'm practicing, learning as the helper teach me. I'm learning more and more about it.
When you do a lymphatic massage,
It's a very light massage.
like in one area?
No, it's the whole body, but it's hidden, I would say, for as well-being to a person's body. People don't know that much about it.
Because that's inflammation, basically what we're talking about, isn't it?
Well, I think inflammation can be where the fluid's not circulating, filtering throughout the body properly. Yeah, I think it might build up inflammation.
And is it a combination? I mean, is it a series of lymphatic massages to see results?
Yeah, I think it's a series. I have one guy that I've been working with, and he said it's changed his life. He's a trainer, and he had 2 hip replacements, 3 knee operations, and he said he don't have any pain whatsoever. He said completely gone. And he come once a week. So I'm still at the beginning stage of it, of learning. I'm not an expert or anything like that. I'm not an expert. I'm at the beginning stage of learning because it just been given to me. And I'm learning about it, and I'm fascinated about it. I don't want to do anything else but that type of therapy now.
You've said so much, and I wanted to ask you, with all of that, what do you think your superpower is? Like, the gift that God gave you is massage, or what do you think that's so unique to you?
Yeah, the massage, definitely. I have seen unbelievable things in the massage. I have seen things that I never thought I could, experience in the massage.
If somebody wants to get in touch and they want to seek you out for massage therapy or for training, do you do different types of massages depending on the...
Well, I can, but I'm 75 years old, so I'm something.
And you don't look 75.
Oh, you wait till you see me 6 months from now. Oh boy.
How can people reach you if they want to reach you? You got an email?
Yeah, email Tony B. McClendon @yahoo.com.
Well, thank you for doing this, Tony. This has been a real joy.
I really, really enjoyed it. I hope someone, can get some help from it. That's what it's all about. If I touch just one person, that is something they need. And they say that whatever you have to give, somebody is praying for it.
That's the truth. We just don't realize it a lot of times. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can listen to all Let's Start Healing episodes on traditional podcast platforms. Until next time, let's start healing.